Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido and today we're coming in from Spike City where the Rockets are hosting the Pony Stars in this second quarter trial matchup. But as they send out their starting lineups, let's have a look at this tale of the tape as the Rockets built some massive momentum in the later stages of this season and they want to continue that here in Victory Road to get that back-to-back champions title here in Victory Road, whereas the Pony Stars are making their debut in the postseason after missing out last season. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win. Will it be the dark types? Will it be the fairy types? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
And in game one, it is going to be that Terrestrial draftee joining Primarina as Glade does take on that fairy type form. It will be Meowscarada with that Protean ability and that Hisuian Samurai starting out for the Spike Myth Rockets, and it is Meowscarada with the speed control immediately going for the Gigaton Hammer, becoming a steel type, and it is going to bring the hammer down on to Glade for a super effective one hit wonder. Glade has been doing much better this season, but that is not how the Stars wanted this game to start, as Samurai does follow it up with the corrosive gas. This is going to burn up the leopard berries of both Meowscarada and Primarina, but the Rockets off to the early lead. Primarina responds with the powder snow. This is resisted by both members of the Rockets as Meowscarada now has that steel typing. Hattering comes out for the Pony Stars and Meowscarada with the gunk shot, but that will be avoided by Primarina. That would have been super effective as Samurai with the mortal spin. Speaking of super effective moves, connecting with both Hattering and Primarina and leaving them with that poison as well. That status condition will be doing that chip damage as the Rockets look to repeat here in Victory Road, go all the way to the Champions game. That lick not very effective onto Samurai from Primarina. Hattering does follow it up with the dynamic punch, but that is avoided by Samurai, and that would have been massive damage being done to the Dark Water type. And already we see that poisoning starting to take effect there on the Pony Stars as Meowscarada, this steel type with the spark, getting in some great damage there onto Hattering. Samurai is going to follow it up with a focus blast, but clearly not focused enough. Hattering is able to get out of the way, allowing Primarina to go with the arm thrust onto this steel type Meowscarada, this multi-hit move. If it can get all 5, that will do massive damage here to the steel type. It has got 3. It has got 4, it needs 1 more, getting a critical hit on that 4th one and getting the 5-time connection of that super effective move. Hattering has the opportunity to follow up. Here it goes with the Weather Ball. This will be resisted though by Meowscarada, however it does put it into knockout range as that poisoning doing that chip damage to both Primarina and Hattering. The Pony Stars have never defeated the Spike Myth Rockets, and they need to get 2 here to try and face the Ula Ula macros in the semi-trials, as that growl from Meowscarada is going to lower that physical attack of both Primarina and Hattering. Samurai follows it up with the rise in voltage. They need to go for these electric type moves onto Primarina, but regardless, it takes Hattering out of this matchup. The Rockets building this momentum, but the final gambit here from Primarina, super effective, taking out the steel type Meowscarada, but in the process, Primarina is going to eliminate itself from this match as out comes Iron Thorns for the Spike Myth Rockets, their own Terrestrial draftee. It is going to be Floor just coming out for the Pony Stars, joined by Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl with that prankster ability. They do not want it in this match. They wanted to keep it for the second game because the Rockets will be immune to Grimmsnarl. Whilst it is on the field, it needs to get rid of that prankster ability. It will have speed control, but that is irrelevant. That waterfall is not going to work on the Rockets. The dark types are immune to that prankster effect. The attack order though, super effective from Florges onto that now dark type Iron Dawn. Samurai with the superpower here on to Grimmsnarl, getting some massive damage, lowering its own attack and defense in the process. But the Rockets in full control. Iron Thorns with the Nightshade onto Florges here, getting some good consistent damage. Grimmsnarl now with the focus energy, this critical play as it is getting pumped, may be completely irrelevant. For just having to do all the work, goes for the metal sound here onto Samurai. That is going to greatly lower that special defense as Samurai does respond with the wish, wishing that the Rockets not just win this game but go all the way through the Leaders Trials into that championship series, into the Champions game, as that poison jab from Iron Thorn, super effective to eliminate Florges from this matchup. This is terrible for the Stars as out comes Tinkerton with that mold breaker ability and it is once again Grimmsnarl with the Flame Wheel, but nothing is going to work here against the Rockets, leaving Tinkaton to have to do all the work, but it goes for the Horn Drill, but that is avoided by Iron Thorns, allowing Samurott to respond with the guard split onto Tinkaton there. So it is going to share the guard between the two, as Iron Thorns is going to follow it up with the Leaf Blade onto Grimmsnarl to get that easy elimination. And Tinkaton has come back from a 1v3, now it has to come back from a 1v5 to try and get the Stars of victory in this matchup. It looks like the Rockets at this point are going to take game one, as the try attack from Tinkaton gets in some really good damage there onto Iron Thorns, leaving it with that paralysis as well. Tinkaton already has speed control, but that will make Iron Thorns potentially unable to move. The Roar from Samurott is going to fail. Iron Thorns does shake off this paralysis, going for the cross poison, but that steel typing does make Tinkaton immune to poison type moves, allowing the fairy type to go for the coil here on the field. And it does boost those physical stats, both that attack and defense, as well as boosting that accuracy in the process, as Samurott is going to go with the Cotton Squall now. Not trying to finish this game yet, it is going to lower that speed a great deal of Tinkaton, as Iron Thorns with the conversion to trying to change its typing, but it's already done that. This is going to fail. However, Samurott with the Earth Power, super effective on the part Steel type, getting in some great damage onto Tinkaton, who responds with the Dragon Claw. Fantastic response, but opens the door for Iron Thorns to go for the Bug Bite, doing very little, not very effective damage there to Tinkaton, but it does take its Leopard Berry in the process, and that could be crucial if Tinkaton wants to try and take down all 5 of the Spike Myth Rockets. Samurott, though, with the Power Gem, keeping on the offensive, chipping away here at Tinkaton with these not very effective moves. The Fairy type is going to respond with the Shadow Claw on to Iron Thorns, not very effective in its own right, but Iron Thorns is unable to move due to that paralysis. That is great for the Pony Stars, as Samurott is going to go for the Parabolic Charge, putting everybody into knockout range, including Iron Thorns. Tinkaton could capitalize here, try and get that elimination, as Samurott is restoring its health, and it's been in this match since the start. The Stars only have one elimination. The Crush Claw from Tinkaton puts Samurott into knockout range, lowering its defense in the process. Good thing it restored its health. Iron Thorns unable to move due to that paralysis. Samurott, though, comes in with the Rock Blast. It connects with the first one. It goes for the second one, doing very little damage, but it only needs 2 to ensure the Spike Myth Rockets take game 1 in full control over the Pony Stars. They need to regroup, as the teams do get restored to full health, and we will be going into game 2. And this time the Spike Myth Rockets will have their regular abilities, as it is Hydreigon and Mabosstiff. It is going to be Carbink and Alolan Ninetales starting out for the Pony Stars. That Snow Warning ability causes it to snow over the field, as Ninetales immediately with the Curse, it is going to cut into its speed here on the field, but it is going to boost that physical attack as well as that physical defense, as Hydreigon, though, with the Sand Tomb, not doing much damage there to Ninetales, but it is going to trap it in that quicksand. That could be the main part of that move, as the dive setup from Mabosstiff, it is going to hide underwater, so Carbink needs to focus in on Hydreigon. Going for the Whirlpool, it is going to trap Hydreigon in that watery vortex. It is not going to be very effective on that first connection, though. However, we see Hydreigon taking the damage from the Whirlpool now, as Ninetales also taking the damage of that quicksand that was caused by the Sand Tomb. Hydreigon now with the speed control, with the Ice Spinner onto Carbink, gets in some great damage there on the part Rock Type, and the dive follow up onto Ninetales. Mabosstiff should have gone for Carbink, as Ninetales is going to go for the Circle Throw, but that Guard Dog ability will keep it on the field. However, still gets that super effective damage. The triple arrows follow up from Carbink onto Hydreigon, super effective, gets in some great damage, does Carbink, going on the offensive, lowering the defenses of Hydreigon in the process, as well as we see that Whirlpool still afflicting Hydreigon. The Sand Tomb still doing damage to Ninetales, as Hydreigon now with the Psych up, trying to copy the stat changes of Carbink. Not that there have been any, as Mabosstiff is going to go with the Charm, trying to charm Ninetales here on the field, lowering that physical attack that was boosted earlier on. Ninetales is going to respond, though, with the Sand attack. That is going to lower the accuracy of that Angry Papa on the field. Carbink continuing on the offensive, this time with the Gigaton Hammer, putting Mabosstiff into knockout range. And there's that Whirlpool still chipping away at Hydreigon, who is becoming an easier target with every turn, as does Ninetales, thanks to that Sand Tomb, and it is still snowing over the field as Hydreigon with the wrap onto Ninetales. A little bit of chip damage, but Mabosstiff follows it up with the Volt Switch. However, that is going to be avoided by Ninetales thanks to that lowered accuracy. Ninetales is going to go for another Sand Tomb in this match, but Mabosstiff is able to avoid that move as Carbink follows it up with the Spark. Not very effective onto Hydreigon, but it does put it into knockout range, and that Whirlpool, Hydreigon's still able to hang on barely though, as Ninetales also put into knockout range thanks to that Sand Tomb. Hydreigon though is going to go with the takedown. It will get the recoil damage, not very effective onto Carbink, and Hydreigon looks like it is still hanging on as Mabosstiff follows up with the conversion to changing that Dark typing, focusing in on Ninetales. It is going to become a Bug type here on the field, as Ninetales is going to go for the sheer cold, but that will be avoided in the snow by Mabosstiff. However, Carbink with the Reflect type is going to become a Dragon Dark type. It is no longer immune to those Dragon type moves as the snow over the field does stop. However, finally, that Whirlpool will take Hydreigon out of this matchup, as out comes Greninja onto the field with that Battle Bond ability as well. It immediately goes for the Smart Strike here on the Dragon Dark type Carbon, getting in some good damage. Mabosstiff follows it up with the Prismatic Laser, but that does not affect Carbink anymore, allowing Ninetales to go for the Syrup Bomb here on to Greninja. That should be super effective, getting covered in that sticky candy syrup, but however, it is Zoroark that was in its illusion form here on the field. Carbink follows it up with the Whirlwind, but it is going to fail. It must have gone for Mabosstiff again with that Guard Dog ability. The speed is being lowered for Zoroark. However, Mabosstiff with the low sweep, that is going to be avoided by Ninetales. That lowered accuracy has been crucial, as Ninetales with the takedown continuing to focus in onto Zoroark, even getting its own recoil damage, as Zoroark does respond with the Mystical Fire to finish off Ninetales with that super effective damage, leveling the playing field at 5v5. As Carbink now with its own Mystical Fire continuing to be an offensive threat in this matchup, lowering the special attack of Zoroark, and out comes Fluttermane onto the field, immediately going for the Spit Up, but it hasn't even had the chance to go for a stockpile, so that is going to fail, allowing Mabosstiff to try and capitalize with the Tickle, lowering those offensive stats here of Fluttermane that are only base 55. It is much more of a specially based Pokemon, who is now on the receiving end of a topsy-turvy though from Zoroark, and it just had those stats that were lowered inverted, so they've just gone up, as Carbink is going to go for the Matcha Gotcha, but that is going to be avoided by Zoroark. However, it will not be avoided by Mabosstiff. However, it's not very effective on the Bug type Mabosstiff. There is a little bit of health being restored for Carbink here in this matchup, and Mabosstiff has been left with that burn that is going to cut into that physical attack, but also chip away at its health as well. And Fluttermane taking those boosted physical stats and baton passing them away, giving them to Primarina, who is now coming out onto the side of the Pony Stars. Mabosstiff with the Eerie spell immediately meeting the Water type. They're not doing much damage though, as Zoroark is going to go for the Crush Claw to put Carbink into knockout range, lowering its defenses here, as Carbink is going to respond with the Leech Seed onto Zoroark. It is going to try and have its health restored by sapping the strength of Zoroark, as we see taking place on the field here. And there is a little bit of health being restored for Carbink, who has been in this matchup since the very start, as has Mabosstiff, but it is now out of this matchup thanks to the burn from Carbink. Carbink getting that crucial elimination, as out comes the real Greninja onto the field for the Spike Myth Rockets, and immediately it is going to cause that uproar, going for Primarina, getting in some good damage there, causing that uproar. However, Primarina is going to respond with the Icicle Crash down onto Zoroark, getting that critical hit to get the elimination. Not that that was needed, as Carbink follows it up with the Dig. It is going to bury its way underground, but this is much better for the Pony Stars. They seem more in control in this matchup, having only lost one Pokemon so far. The Rockets have lost 3, as out comes Iron Thorns once again, looking to have a great second game in this best of 3 series. And the Pony Stars want this win. They want it to be an all-Alola game in the next semi-trials, but the Spike Myth Rockets, they want that second champion's crown, as the uproar continues from Greninja onto Primarina. It's followed up by the expanding force from Iron Thorns, continuing to focus in onto Primarina, putting it into knockout range, but Primarina is going to respond with the Magnet Rise. It is going to levitate thanks to that electromagnetism, but it is such an easy target right now. The dig is finished off from Carbink onto Greninja, who's continuing to make this uproar. It's trying to get that Battle Bond ability activated. It has finally taken Carbink out of this matchup, and those stats are about to get that boost on Greninja. The physical attack, the special attack, base 103, as well as that base 122 speed. It is very unlikely now that we'll see anybody outspeed Greninja on this field, including Fluttermane, as Iron Thorns is about to spring up into the sky. We see the Judgment from Primarina coming down hard onto Greninja, putting it into knockout range. Fluttermane returning to the field, but Greninja with the speed control goes for the Heart Swap. And it's just switched its stats with Fluttermane. Those stat changes, Fluttermane looking to capitalize, goes with the Shadow Force, taking that boosted special attack, that boosted speed here. That bounce coming down hard onto Primarina from Iron Thorns to eliminate it from this matchup. And just like that, it is now a 3 versus 3 matchup. Out comes Hatterene, but the Rockets have worked their way back into this matchup. Fluttermane, with that not very effective connection onto Iron Thorns, allows Greninja to respond with the Aura Sphere, but that is not very effective whatsoever onto Hatterene. Iron Thorns follows it up with the Floral Healing, but it goes for Hatterene, who has that magic bounce ability. Very, very clever play, because it gets bounced back to Iron Thorns, restoring its strength back to full. Hatterene, however, with the stuffed cheeks, is going to chow down on its Leopard Berry. That does boost that physical defense in the process in doing so, as Fluttermane is going to go with the Psychic Fangs, but that is not going to work on the Dark types. They are immune to those Psychic type moves, allowing Greninja to go for the Poison Gas. That is going to leave Fluttermane poisoned. However, once again, that magic bounce ability is going to come into play from Hatterene, sending it back to the Spike Myth Rockets on the field, but Iron Thorns is able to avoid that move. However, Greninja, not so fortunate, is going to be left with the poison from its own Poison Gas setup. However, the Rock Blast now from Iron Thorns, it is avoided by Hatterene, allowing Hatterene to respond with the Wild Bolt Storm on the both Dark types, and it's super effective on Greninja, putting the Pony Stars back in front. And we do see that poison starting to afflict both Fluttermane and not Iron Thorns. It was able to avoid that move, as out comes Meowscarada onto the side of the Spike Myth Rockets. It does not have that protein ability. That cross chop is avoided by Fluttermane onto Iron Thorns, allowing Meowscarada to go for the Happy Hour. The Spike Myth Rockets are that close to moving on, but they have not won this matchup yet, as they do get caught up in that happy atmosphere. Iron Thorns with the Water Pledge onto Hatterene, who is going to respond with the Sparkling Aria. This will connect with everybody on the field. It is not very effective onto Meowscarada though, and it will not cure that poison that is still afflicting Fluttermane. It would have if it was burned though, as it goes with the Chloroblast, but that is also going to be avoided by Meowscarada, once again allowing the Dark Grass type to respond with the Water Gun, getting some good chip damage. Iron Thorns is going to follow it up with its own Water Gun, but going for Hatterene. And Hatterene is going to respond with the round, getting some great damage onto Meowscarada as that poison chipping away at Fluttermane, making it such an easy target. It is going to go for the agility. It's already got the speed control. It just wants to ensure it keeps it, but it needs to go on the offensive because it's becoming an easy target for the Rockets. Meowscarada with the confusion onto Fluttermane, putting it into knockout range. Iron Thorns follows it up with another Floral Healing onto Hatterene, once again having that Floral Healing sent back to it to restore its health. It won't quite get back to full strength this time though, as Hatterene is going to go for the Gust, getting some good chip damage onto Iron Thorns. Fluttermane needs to hang on. It may have one turn left. It is barely on the field right now, as Fluttermane with the Aqua Step, it will get another speed boost. Gets in some good chip damage onto Iron Thorns. That speed boost will be irrelevant shortly though, as Meowscarada with the Poison Tail isn't waiting around. It is going to take Fluttermane out of this matchup. It is down to a 2 versus 2 matchup. The Stars need this win. The Fly being set up by Iron Thorns. It flies up high into the sky. Hatterene needs to go for Meowscarada. Goes for the Shadow Sneak. That is going to be avoided by Iron Thorns. And the last Pokemon for the Pony Stars is Gallade. It didn't even get an opportunity to capitalize on its terrestrializing last game, because Meowscarada took it out with that Gigaton Hammer, being super effective. as Glade wants the opportunity to have a better performance here for the Pony Stars. Meowscarada with the speed control though sets up the spikes. However, that magic bounce sends it back over to the Rockets, but no one is coming out onto the field for either side, so that entry hazard is irrelevant here in this second game. Glade, however, with the triple arrows, it goes for Iron Thorns. It will be avoided, still up in the sky, allowing the fly to be finished off onto Hatterene from Iron Thorns. Hatterene responds with the Hypnosis. It is going to put Iron Thorns to sleep on the field. Those triple arrows that Glade needed to go for Meowscarada, who, as Meowscarada is going to go for the baton pass, it will not be able to go back to the bench, though all Pokemon remaining are on the field, allowing the poison gas from Glade. It is going to get that poison. No, sorry, it is going to fail. It does get the poison on to Meowscarada, but it is not going to work on that sleeping Iron Thorns, who is snoozing away there on the field. This allows Hatterene to try and capitalize with the Metal Burst, but that is unfortunately going to fail. It hasn't taken any damage this turn, as we see that poison is starting to afflict Meowscarada on the field, who is going to go with the Lunar Blessing very intelligently. It is going to restore the health of itself and its teammate Iron Thorns, but also it is going to cure them both of their status conditions as we are in the last minute of this matchup. We have never gone into overtime in Victory Road. The Heal Pulse from Glade, what is it doing? It restores the strength of Iron Thorns back to full strength. If we go into overtime, these sides will have their remaining Pokemon restored to full strength, and it will become a singles battle. The Thrash from Hatterene onto Iron Thorns. Meowscarada responds with the Harden. It is going to boost that physical defense, as Glade is going to go with the Body Slam onto Iron Thorns. Not getting enough. We should be going into overtime for the first time ever in Victory Road. The Shore Up from Iron Thorns is going to restore that health once again. Looks like we will be going into a singles battle, as that Thrash from Hatterene onto Meowscarada is not enough. And it will be Iron Thorns starting out for the Spike-Mirth Rockets. We know it's going to be Hatterene starting out for the Pony Stars. We know it's Glade on the bench for the Stars, and Meowscarada on the bench for the Rockets, as Iron Thorns, Hatterene both restored back to full strength, and Iron Thorns taking on that terrestrialized dark typing once again. And for only the second time this season, we are going into overtime, and once again it is the Stars in that contest. They won it last time, they want to win it again. The Disarming Voice from Iron Thorns onto Hatterene, not doing much damage. The Encore from Hatterene is going to fail, allowing Iron Thorns to go for the double team here on the field. It is going to boost its evasiveness, make it a harder target to connect with. Hatterene, however, is going to go with the speed swap very intelligently. It is one of the slowest Pokemon in the PokeType League, so it switches its speed with Iron Thorns. It follows it up with the Strength Sap, lowering that physical attack of Iron Thorns here on the field. It's base 134, and it does get itself restored back to full strength, as Iron Thorns is going to go for the Corrosive Gas, but that Magic Bounce from Hatterene coming into play once again, sending it back to Iron Thorns, corroding away, that Leopard Berry, as Hatterene is going to go with the Super Fang, intelligently halving that health of Iron Thorns, who does respond with the Explosion. And it has that lowered attack, putting Hatterene into knockout range, but Hatterene is able to hang on by a thread. It is such an easy target for Meowscarada, who we know will be coming out onto the field. Iron Thorns has been eliminated. The Stars are in control. Out comes Meowscarada. It will have that speed control as well. Immediately, it is going to go for the Psycho Cut to get that easy elimination of Hatterene with that not very effective move. Glade, who was taken out with a one-hit wonder. That Gigaton Hammer in the last matchup, coming out onto the field to face down Meowscarada, who was the one that eliminated it. And we do see Glade taking on that Fairy typing. But this is it. The Pony Stars need to win this. Meowscarada immediately going for the Scald onto Glade, getting in some good chip damage, but it does avoid the burn. Glade does respond with the Baby Doll Eyes onto Meowscarada, lowering that physical attack that is base 110. It goes for the Glaive Rush, but Glade is immune to that Dragon type move. Being a Fairy type now, it is able to respond with the Dynamic Punch. But Meowscarada avoids that move, rolling out of the way. It does go for the Aromatic Mist on the field, but that is going to fail. This opens the door for Glade. They need to win this to continue this series. It goes for the Sludge Wave. This is super effective on the Park Grass type, doing massive damage, but it goes, Meowscarada goes for the Strength Sap. It is going to have its health restored, cutting into that physical attack of Gallade that's base 125. Meowscarada gets itself back to full strength. Gallade though with the tickle, it is going to lower those physical stats of Meowscarada, both that physical attack and that physical defense, as Meowscarada is going to go with the Temper Flare onto Gallade, getting in some good damage there. But Gallade responds with the Sparkling Aria. This will be resisted by Meowscarada, not doing much damage whatsoever, allowing Meowscarada to go for the payday, trying to make that money, getting in a good connection there onto Gallade, as Gallade responds with a hammer of its own. It brings down the Hammer Arm, and it's super effective. It is now a 1v1 contest because Meowscarada has been eliminated. The Pony Stars win it in overtime. We are going to a game 3. And with that, as I try to collect myself for this third matchup, it's Fluttermane and Ninetales starting out for the Pony Stars. It is Incineroar, who are yet to see this series, starting out with Samurott. Fluttermane immediately with the Electro Web. This will be super effective there onto Samurott, lowering the speed of both Rockets members in the process here. And Incineroar is revealed to be Zoroark. That is why we did not see that Intimidate come into play. Ninetales are looking to go for the Seismic Toss, that consistent damage, putting Samurott into knockout range. Zoroark with the Supersonic, but that is going to be avoided by Ninetales. Samurott looking to do its part, does go with the Close Combat though, getting some great damage there onto the part Ice type, lowering its own defense and special defense in the process, as Fluttermane could go for the easy elimination. It goes with the Sparkling Aria. This will connect with everybody on the field, but it is enough to eliminate Samurott. However, it puts Ninetales into knockout range. Zoroark though is an easy target. The Ice Fang from Ninetales gets the elimination. This is the start the Pony Stars needed. They're building on that momentum that was set up by Gallade. It is Mabosstiff coming out for the Rockets, and it is going to be the real Incineroar coming out as well, with that Intimidate ability to lower the physical attack of both Ninetales and Fluttermane. However, Fluttermane still with that speed control goes for the Psychic Fangs, which is not going to work on the Rockets. However, Ninetales does go with the Spin Out, going for that Angry Pupper, getting in some good chip damage, but unfortunately it lowers its own speed a great deal in the process. Mabosstiff could get the easy elimination, goes for the Bite on to Fluttermane, getting massive damage there on the part Ghost type. The Power Trick follow-up from Incineroar, it is going to switch its attack and defense. It does have that 115 attack that's now its defense. The Guillotine though from Fluttermane is avoided by Mabosstiff. Mabosstiff though now quicker than Ninetales, goes for the Poison Tail to get the easy elimination. Ninetales has been taken out of this matchup, and that is what the Rockets needed, so the Stars couldn't build any more momentum. And the Overheat follow-up from Incineroar completes the huge play to take Fluttermane out of this match, lowering its own special attack in the process. But we are now level with 4 remaining on both sides. It is Florges coming out for the Stars. It is going to be joined by Carbink, and immediately Florges with the taunt, telling Incineroar to just bring it, and that heal on the field is going to fall for that taunt. We will be seeing it struggle, but first Mabosstiff with the Alluring Voice onto Carbink. Not very much damage being done to the part Rock type there. As we said, Incineroar has fallen for the taunt, allowing Carbink to go with the Frost Breath on to Mabosstiff. That critical play, as Florges is going to follow up with the Swords Dance. It is much more of a specially based Pokemon, but it is going to boost that that physical attack a great deal. Mabosstiff, however, is going to go with the Flare Blitz onto Carbink. That is resisted by the part Rock type there. There's a little bit of recoil damage for Mabosstiff, as we're about to see Incineroar struggle for the first time in this matchup. Going for Florges, there is that recoil damage taking place, allowing Carbink to go with the Agility. And with that, Carbink may be able to outspeed the Spike Mouth Rockets. It outspeeds everybody. It's got speed control, going for the triple kick, but that is going to be avoided by Mabosstiff. That could be crucial, as Florges follows it up with a Trop Kick. Not very effective here onto Incineroar, but it is going to lower that physical attack, as Mabosstiff with the Flail doing very little damage to Carbink here on the field, and Incineroar continuing to struggle away, getting that recoil damage, doing more to itself than it did to Carbink. As it's finally shaken off that taunt, Carbink is going to go with the Hex. Whoever wins this game moves on to the semi-trials to face the Ula Macros. Not very effective onto Mabosstiff. Florges with the lunge though on to Incineroar, putting it into knockout range, lowering that attack once again. Mabosstiff is going to go with the Heart Swap, focusing in on to Florges. They're switching their stat changes, and Incineroar, who's shaking off that taunt, is going to follow up with the Zen Headbutt, going for Carbink here, getting very little damage. Carbink tanking every move, is going to hide underwater, setting up for the dive. That will be super effective on Incineroar. Florges, however, is going to go with the Toxic. This is going to leave Mabosstiff badly poisoned, so that poisoning will get progressively worse with every turn. And Mabosstiff does go for the Rock Wrecker, but unfortunately it is going to go for Carbink, who is still underwater. Incineroar looking to do its part, goes with the Explosion. And with that lowered attack, it is going to take itself out of this matchup. It puts Mabosstiff into knockout range. It doesn't do much to Florges, and it does nothing to Carbink. The Pony Stars are back in front. That poisoning starting to afflict Mabosstiff down there on the field, as it is now going to be joined by Weavile on the side of the Spike Myth Rockets. The dive from Carbink eliminates Mabosstiff. Are the Rockets about to be eliminated in the quarter trials by a side who had never defeated them to begin with? Weavile with the Eerie spell chipping away at Florges there on the field, losing 3 PP in the process. Florges is going to respond with the Magnetic Flux, but that is going to fail as the last Pokemon for the Spike Myth Rockets. It is Hydreigon now on the field. Carbink with the speed control, even over a Weavile, goes with the Alluring Voice onto Weavile. Super effective, massive damage, but Weavile does respond with the Belly Drum. It doesn't have enough health to do that though, so that is going to fail, as Hydreigon is going to go with the Bullet Seed, this multi-hit move onto Florges. If it can get all 5, it will get the elimination. That second one does put it into knockout range, but it only gets to keeping Florges in the matchup. It is going to go with the Dragon Pulse, super effective onto Hydreigon. More massive damage from the Pony Stars. Carbink is going to follow it up with the Psychic, but the Rockets are immune to Psychic type moves. This is the chance they needed. Weavile with the Shadow Sneak, sneaking across the field onto Florges to get that much needed elimination. Hydreigon could follow it up to take Carbink out. They need this huge play. Hydreigon with the Flash Cannon onto Carbink, completing the huge play with that super effective move. We're down to a 2 versus 2 matchup. But it is Grimmsnarl coming out for the Pony Stars, being joined by Tinkaton, that Mold Breaker ability, making that Levitate irrelevant. But unfortunately, that Poltergeist from Grimmsnarl is not going to work. It's got the Prankster ability. It's practically a 1v2 matchup. Grimmsnarl just needs to tank hits. The Aqua Step though onto Tinkaton from Weavile. Great damage being done, and the speed boost for Weavile. Tinkaton is going to respond with the Hard Press onto Weavile to get that elimination. Hydreigon is all by itself, but Tinkaton is practically all by itself. Grimmsnarl cannot do anything. The Terrain Pulse from Hydreigon onto Tinkaton. Very little damage being done to the part Steel type there, as Grimmsnarl this time going for the Dragon Claw. This would be super effective, but it isn't going to work because of the Prankster ability. Tinkaton, however, is going to go for the Tri-Attack onto Hydreigon, putting it into knockout range. A very fitting move, but Hydreigon responds with the Victory Dance, feeling very confident because it knows that Grimmsnarl cannot touch it with that Prankster ability. Very, very arrogant play there by the Dark types, as the Acid Spray this time from Grimmsnarl is not going to work, allowing Hydreigon to go for the Tar Shot. This is going to make Tinkaton weaker to Fire type moves, also slowing it down in the process. Now Grimmsnarl is always going to go first thanks to the Prankster ability, but it doesn't matter, as the rest here from Tinkaton is going to restore itself back to full strength, but it also puts itself to sleep. This is great for Hydreigon. It can chip away, but it needs to act fast and take out Tinkaton, as the Drain Punch from Grimmsnarl not going to work again, would have done massive damage, allowing Hydreigon to go with the conversion. It's going to change its type. It's no longer a Dark type, it's become a normal type. This is fantastic for Grimmsnarl. Just like that, it has changed. Tinkaton is asleep on the field, but Grimmsnarl, with the last respect, still going for moves that don't affect Hydreigon. How fitting. But Hydreigon is going to go with the Rock Blast, keeping on the offensive, going for the sleeping Tinkaton here on the field. But Grimmsnarl just unable to land a move in this matchup. This has not been good for the Pony Stars, having to utilize that Prankster ability of Grimmsnarl twice to null effect, as Tinkaton is still fast asleep after those Rock Blast connections. Grimmsnarl though is going for the Explosion, sick of not being able to land a move. And it takes itself out. Tinkaton hangs on, but Hydreigon is eliminated, and Grimmsnarl gets the winning shot for the Pony Stars after having enough of not being able to land a hit in this game. It lands one move and it gets the win for the Pony Stars. Our reigning champions have been eliminated, but that first semi-trial matchup is an all-Alola affair. It will be the Ula Ula Macros hosting the Pony Stars. But with that said, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.